Bummer, I can't do it sideways. Hi, everybody. Rachelle Jones, Luncheon Live with 11:45. It's a little. The sun is like reflecting. We actually have sun. It's reflecting off the concretes. Make my eyes water. We have Wes with us today. Wes, my husband. He's a fellow grief recovery specialist also. And he wanted. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. Thank you for joining. Thanks for being here. My husband Wes for Luncheon Live today, meeting Tuesdays and Fridays at 11:45. By the way, first thing, you hear things that are helpful or that could serve another person, please be sure to share these messages so people can hear what's helpful to them. Thank you all. Let's see. Hi, Muscles. It's so funny. That's what you call them. Oh, it's both Joneses. Yep. We got a few of us or a couple of us today. Although now that everyone's home, I mean, technically we could have all of us, right? What does this really look like in real life? Can you all hear okay? Because I'm out, and just make sure that, give me a thumbs up, somebody, if you can hear all right. So with two of us, I couldn't use headphones, although I do have a different system, but I didn't get it out. So are we okay? Can we hear all right? So just make sure you speak loud.
Sounds good.
We'll wait till we hear back from somebody. And being Luncheon Live 11:45. Oh, good. Thanks, Cheryl. I have not eaten yet today, so I'm having a snack. It's Luncheon Live. Bring your lunch.
And I just ate, so I'm not going to try to steal her toast. I thought about saying, look at that bird over there. I'm grabbing some, but I'm not going to do that. Anywho.
But Wes had some, we can hear. Okay, awesome. Thank you, everybody. So Wes had some things he wanted to talk about. Regarding
my experience this week, how it pertains at my level of, there's a lot of changes you hear if you watch the news, you listen to the radio, just with the whole climate of the way things are right now with, we all know the coronavirus, and I'm sure some people are just tired of hearing it, I have a tendency to listen to the local radio station so I can hear the 98.1 KHTS and the AM. To kind of find out what's going on locally at our little neck of the woods over here. And they're doing a great job putting information out there.
Go ahead.
With their actual folks in their management. I think the owner tested positive and his wife, they were on a cruise and whatnot. But so they're doing a real good job putting out information for folks with changes and stuff. The world news as well as the local news. So I've been listening to that, but to stay informed, but just at the level of just facilitating changes in the workplace and being a part of what that looks like when management makes decisions based on, trying to make things better to protect employees and whatnot, and it involves some certain changes, and I've had the opportunity to kind of be in the middle of facilitating some of those changes and working with folks that haven't had to do or having to change things that maybe they've been doing it for 25 years, and it's not a fun thing to try to train folks, teach an old dog new tricks.
No, that's what grief is, right?
No, it's
grief
absolutely.
Is the feelings that bubble up because of change. Everyone's grieving right now.
So, and the beautiful thing is, me having that background and knowing the underlying factor that, maybe somebody's just not grumbling because it's just, well, I don't want to do that, but it's actually fear, and having, I've had so many opportunities this week to work with people peer-to-peer, small groups and things on facilitating some changes. And, it took a lot of patience and a lot of breathing for myself to be in the middle of facilitating those changes and having to be, on one side where leadership and management is like, what's going on with the changes? And then having to kind of walk people through those changes and hear them, let them feel validated and heard when they're not happy about those changes. My training had to really kick in this week, and then taking a breath, because I was getting grief.
Your training in what? You mean your grief recovery?
With specialist training, because I was feeling grief by getting kind of being in the middle and representing, maybe it's a technological change that we had with some of our stuff at work, computer stuff or what have you, and having to be in the middle and being that face of the change and having to hear the backlash of like, well, I've been doing it so long in this way, and I understand. And so, but then feeling and letting them feel heard, but then taking a breath and then walking through those changes, even though it's not their favorite. And
So you're saying you found your tools, you said you had to use your tools a lot. So does that mean you found them valuable in helping you navigate this change with others and helping others navigate some changes?
absolutely, the whole be a heart with ears, and listening, just letting people feel valid. I have a specific example of somebody really resistant to change, letting them feel heard, letting them spill their whatever's coming out of their mouth, knowing it, they're not directing it towards me, but just they're expressing their grief. And knowing that in that setting, that during this change, even in the professional environment, with the grief tools, I was blown away by allowing them to feel, or giving them the respect and dignity and respect without judgment and criticism, to let them feel heard. And then, okay, I could see that. And then, what do you think if we try this? Okay, and then walking him through. And then at the end of the whole hour and a half of working with this particular person or group of people, okay, I think I can do it. And it just blew me away, going from, I can see steam coming out of the ears, and I'm like, why am I the person that has to facilitate these changes?
This is my life every day at home.
But embracing them, and then just seeing that wave of dignity, respect, without judgment and criticism, allowing them to feel heard, practicing my breathing and patience in the moment where I just want to lash back at, like, shut up and just get over it. I didn't do that. Because it may have gone sideways if I did, but so anyway, it was really great to see that, even though it was hard and grieving in the moment, but to actually see the steps in a
and see how it works
in a setting that's not typically grief recovery, but just the steps that go along with the tools in my day-to-day life this week. I don't know if I would have been able to survive without those tools. I probably would have gone crazy myself. And there were moments where I did go crazy. But I didn't stay there. I knew that, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Step back, take a breath, express my feelings to somebody in the
So, thank you for sharing all that. So, would you say that you felt powerful, empowered? You knew what to do. You knew how to recognize the situation, and then you knew what to do to diffuse it or calm it down so that you can continue, because there was still something that needed to be done.
Absolutely.
So did you feel empowered?
I felt, I guess, in the moment where we got through everything, and I had, we went through the change, and then it was time to actually, okay, now I have to go out and try this. The people that had to try it, I felt empowered to be like, okay, I think I've got it. I feel safe now. Basically, the gist of it was, I walked them through using my tools in an indirect way in the workplace.
So they have no idea what you're doing. They have no idea why you're responding the way you are, what's going on in your head, why you're saying what you're saying or not saying what you're saying, or how you're controlling your energy. They have no idea.
No, and in the moment, I think reflecting back, now, in the moment, I don't think I knew exactly what I was doing. It was kind of instinctual because I've been practicing the work.
You've been practicing. Yes, because what you practice, you become very practiced at.
Right. So I had to take a step back, transitioning back at home and go, and I shared with you a little bit about my day, which before would have never happened. And I would have been quiet and rude and short.
Can we say butt face?
So butt face, yeah.
Yeah.
But that hey, wait a minute, that's not typical of me to come home and share. Blah, basically just puke out my thing. Hi, blah, and knowing that Rachelle is not going to judge or criticize me. She may call me out if I'm not being honest, emotionally honest, but that's okay because we can all grow there. But she listened, and even I think with a wound from yesterday of me messing up a little bit, but you listened, you didn't judge, you didn't criticize, and I felt heard. And then I was able to go on and reflect on my experience for the day. Wait a minute, I think my tools definitely were a part of facilitating these changes, and so far I think I felt, hey, we did it. You know, there was some success, and
Without a crash and a burn. Maybe a wound, but not a crash and a burn.
no, I don't think so.
Yeah. That was really good. Thanks for sharing. So let me throw a couple things in here. So grief, we are all grieving. We all have feelings bubble up because of a change. What we thought would be, what we wish would be different, what we wish would be better, what we wish there was a little bit more of, a little bit more interaction, a little bit more time, a little bit more something. All of those feelings bubble up and they're just called grief. Also, we all have hopes or dreams or expectations that aren't getting met, that aren't happening, that aren't going the way we thought they would. And again, those feelings are called grief. So whatever feelings bubble up from what you wish would be different, better, or more, or from the hopes, dreams, and expectations that have not been met or are not going to be met. We've all had different events be completely canceled off the calendar and not rescheduled or postponed, like flat out canceled. So there's grief going on for all of us. No human alive right now is untouched by feelings of grief, period. So grief, definitely grieving events for you and for other people, right? I mean, like, let's be honest. Do we wish those people would have responded differently? A little better? Maybe a little bit more grace, a little bit more patience, a little bit more kindness?
Yeah, it would have been nice.
That's grief.
Okay, there it is.
So if you find grief from what someone's done with you, it is good to express your emotion.
That I wish it would have been different, better, or more. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also there's some action steps to take. You started it.
Right.
But there's something very specific. When you wish someone would have treated you differently, there's a step we have to take.
Right, and expressing my apologies, forgives and significant emotional statements.
Because it's about whose freedom? Emotional freedom.
It's about mine.
Yes, exactly. So that was really good. Thank you. So I had some incidents this week, the last 2 weeks, with some specialists even. So what I want you to hear is that nobody is immune. I had my emotional butt, can I say my emotional butt kicked by a couple of specialists this week that I didn't expect. And like you, I recognized it. I was able to respond and let them feel heard. Meanwhile, I was wounded. I was wounded in a way that I didn't feel justified for. I wish it would have been different. So today, I literally took about an hour and 15 minutes and wrote out 3 completions, because there's a very specific action to take to make sure my heart is truly free. So you will get relief by sharing your emotional honesty in the moment. That's essential. Please never stop that. That's your first commitment to yourself, always in any moment, but to someone who could hear it. And so the person who's treating you poorly is probably not the one who's going to hear it, right? So knowing who you could call, who could listen. I have some people on Voxer who I use, who, we talk with together, just to say it out loud real quick, just so I said it. But also I need to complete the actions.
That particular relationship or incident with...
Yeah, so I have a specialist who I don't even know, who hurt me pretty good, called me names, like weird stuff. And so I just wrote a completion for that. So it's not going to be super long or super detailed, but I had to do it. I've had a couple situations this week that, and also like you said, I'm at home with the kids. I'm working from home and at home with the kids. And I would be lying if I said every moment is smooth. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. And so I'm not perfect one bit, but I definitely have found myself aware 19,000 times a day that I am using my tools in the moment, so that I don't just flip my lid, basically, because I'm a good lid flipper. I am. I'm a lid popper, blower, and if I don't use my tools in the moment, I'm going to take you down with me with my tongue. It's very sharp and pointed. True, right? What other thoughts do you have about that? That was really a great example. That was a great help. I don't know. What did you guys hear that was helpful for you? What sticks out to you about something that Wes just said that you were able to connect with or use, or you're wondering about what stuck out about that to you, please type it in the comments there so we can just respond in the moment.
Well, for me, I like practical, because if I'm gonna, for me, if I'm gonna do something or study something or try to improve at something, as far as my character is concerned, I like practical application in the daily life. So for me to reflect on that and go, okay, let's face it, many of us that work full time, we spend most of our days in the workplace. And so to be able to go, oh, wait a minute, the tools are life tools that can help me be not just a better person at home, but also to be able to function under pressure in the workplace in a better way than without the tools. To be composed, to be able to listen, to stop, to allow, to be in the middle of, between management and employees, and to be like the liaison, facilitating changes, to be able to actually feel confident on both ends to speak, with superiors and let them feel heard, and then give my thoughts, to communicate and not just be like frustrated, flustered. It brings a sense of an efficiency to the table that I just thought, well, this is emotional work for my emotional well-being. However, it's an awareness that, we experience emotions in so many different ways, whether it's a fight with your spouse, your kids, something that happens at work, something that happens when
a total stranger responding like a butt face on the internet,
it could
through
be
social media. People get so bold behind a keyboard. Oh my goodness.
I've heard stories of friends in the medical profession that are getting just treated horribly.
Poor bagging people at the grocery stores.
Yeah, and so it's just
they're just trying to bag your groceries, y'all.
There's a lot of ripple effect, I think, that many of us have not seen happening right now, and just what a wonderful bag of tools to have.
Yeah.
At least for myself, I would hope that others value the tools and want to, well, how do I learn those tools? What can I do to get better at those tools? How do I practice? How do I put them into practice? How do I stay consistent? It's not always easy, especially when, we're chasing our tails half the time trying to keep up with deadlines and work and school and kids, but it's not, we brush our teeth every day. We shower every day. We eat every day. It just takes time and effort. But, I feel proud for me to say I've taken time and effort to practice those tools so that I could actually go, wow, they do work, Yeah. And I had an awareness that they do work in my professional life. And I 100% believe that after this crazy last couple of weeks, actually, for me. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the tools in that respect. So
Yeah, you know what? When I'm hearing you talk, I'm thinking of the word resilience. A lot of people use the word resilience, and they use it incorrectly. They use it in the way of, they get all their wounds, they get shot at, emotionally speaking, not physically, but sometimes physically. But, they get shot at emotionally with people saying things or doing things that leave us feeling hurt. And then people mistakenly think that just getting up and carrying it with them is resilience, and that actually isn't. Resilience is healing those wounds to stand up ready and prepared to take on more. But if you are just moving through life carrying your wounds, you start to try to avoid more of them, right? Of course, nobody wants to walk into emotional wounding, but if you live your life sort of afraid and creating patterns of avoidance because, well, that could hurt, what would they think, what would they say, what's that going to feel like, what's going to happen, what will that be like? So if we live our life in a series of patterns and actions from a place of avoidance, that's not resilience. Resilience is healing the wounds so you're back up for whatever life brings at you. That's actually a really powerful tool. These are life skills, and they're resilience training, showing you exactly what to do so you can stand up and not be nervous of what might come and just be present with what is. And that's actually a very big difference. Hard to see though. So yeah, thank you. What I'm hearing from you is resilience. knowing, how to remove that knife that was just cast into your heart, it hurt in the moment, so you can keep going.
Right.
But you have a little bit of stitches left to do.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not that difficult to do the work. I mean,
No.
Just taking, okay, I'm going to sit down for an hour or and however long it takes. It's different for everybody. But to know, okay, I know the tools. I know how to put a relationship graph and the apologies, forgives, and significant emotional statements, how to address those, how to say them out loud. And what a beautiful thing it is, because I know that I can go into, during my day off time from work and be more emotionally present for my family when I've missed them all week. There's nothing worse than having a crazy busy week at work and then come home all like jacked up. So by the time, if you get maybe you get 1 day off or 2 days off or whatever the case may be, you want that time off with your family. I want that time off with my family to be cherished, to be wonderful, rather than to be just so
emotional butt kicking,
wounded that I can't even. The time off I do have is a waste of time because I'm not connecting. Then it's gone. Then the 2 days off or 1 day off is gone, and then it's like, well, that's horrible. And then I found in my past, looking back, how I was like emotionally starved of like, well, that really sucked. I had different hopes for my time off, but I wasn't present. So now I've got to pay the price of being disconnected, and it can be a vicious cycle. It could pile up. So I would say it is absolutely in my best interest to address those relationships and to come into the day off time clear-hearted.
You know what I just thought of? Thank
So-
you. Yeah, that's all really good content today, Jones. I was just thinking when you said pile up, this is how I picture. Hi, Denise. Hi, thanks for joining. I was thinking when you said pile up like, I picture this like if we are a big bucket, and every time you get hurt, it's like throwing stuff into your bucket, throwing pain into the bucket. And so grief recovery, it's not so easy. Sometimes it's overwhelming, or we don't really know what to leave, what to keep, right? And so we just keep dumping stuff in and never taking it out. So grief recovery is showing you how to take one little shovelful out at a time, whatever size shovel that feels comfortable for you. So that's what I was thinking of, so what is grief recovery? Grief recovery is your shovel. It's how to use the shovel most effectively, but it's not quick work. It's not quick, and it's sometimes exhausting, just like shoveling out a huge field would be.
Yeah, but how much more easy is that bucket to carry?
Once you start to, and you have to take one shovel out at a time, but then it really, gosh, so true. You helped me in that moment in Target. We'll never forget. What do you mean? What happened? I don't know if I recall. My brain, I forget things. But I'm thankful that I had an opportunity to help you. That's awesome. We talked about it taking time. So time, as long as we're taking very correct and specific actions within time. Oh, I remember. That reminds me. Yeah, I remember. Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, as long as we're taking very correct and specific actions within time, time will keep moving, and we'll keep taking those specific actions throughout time, and it really does make a big effect. But time moving by itself does not work. Time moving by itself is a piece of misinformation. It's a myth. So we have to definitely make sure we're taking some very specific actions within the time. Oh, wonderful. You're so wonderful.
And the beautiful thing is, if some are listening that don't know how to learn about those steps, you've spent so many hours on your website with content and information.
Yeah, there's content. And also I teach online. They're rolling out, people are being trained, but there are about probably 65 of us right now who teach grief recovery online. So we're not shut down in the wake of all of this new set of changes and grief going on in the world. I'm working like crazy. I've been so full, which is awesome because I'm able to help people in a safe COVID-19 compliant manner. online. So that is an option still for people. But it is good to just tune in here and catch some things that are helpful for you just to get started, to start opening up our awareness, build comfort, build trust, build safety with one another. We get to grow in a relationship a little bit. So what else do we have here? Vicky Tori, is this Victoria from AV? Sharp tongue. Oh, what was that about? Does that go against GRM protocol? We were talking about emotional butt kicking, and I have a sharp tongue. Cheryl, you had a question. Does that go against GRM protocol? Do you mean my sharp tongue? Yeah, of course it does. That's the result of Rachelle getting a buildup either quicker than she could complete or do something about, or it's a result of Rachelle getting a buildup and just not moving in a time-efficient manner to complete the energy that's stored up inside of her. She's letting it build up. That is what happens. Or sometimes I'm just hit hard and quick. Boy, I got hit yesterday. Bang, bang, like a 2-punch. What's that called? A 1-2 punch?
Yeah, jab hook, but not literally. That's not my MO.
No, emotionally. Why is your eye red? Is it hurting?
It doesn't hurt. Maybe I was up.
No, I think it's a
alarm went off
virus.
at 4:00 this morning, so maybe that's it.
No, well, it could be, but it might be like a cold or allergies, because I had it for like 2 days. Danny had it for 2 days, and you did, but it didn't. It wasn't pink eye or something, so it's just, I thought maybe it was allergies. I don't know.
She's saying the other specialist being.
The other specialist being rude to you.
Protocol?
Is that against protocol?
It's just human
Oh,
nature.
friend, it's just. Well, it's against life protocol. Specialists, we're all just human. So like me having a sharp tongue, we're all just human. And we have reactions too to life where we're not impervious to pain and being hurt. So I don't know what that person has going on in their life. I just easily took ownership that my simple phrase that I use with everyone was painful to her. Of course, I'm not trying to cause pain, but her response and her reaction was quite painful. But I just took my ownership, let her be heard, took my ownership, and then ran out of there as quick as I could. And then I literally just completed it today because I had a statement that I needed to do the work to heal my wound. I could be present for someone else while I'm wounded, but then I need to go heal myself, So there's not necessarily protocol for being human. It's just being human, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. So, yeah. What thoughts do we have on this? So we are doing Luncheon Lives Fridays. We meaning all of us. I don't think Wes will be here because he's working. But Fridays at 11:45 Pacific. Tuesdays also at 11:45 Pacific. Just to get a little bit more interaction, a little bit more time together as we're navigating this situation that not a single one of us has ever been through before. So, yeah, I'll see you back on Tuesday. But as far as today, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I just want to thank everybody for listening, even though we're through the video, to share my truth and feel heard. And with the comments and things, I feel like definitely I was heard, and that's a big part, that's a big step. So there's been a time where I would never ever even consider doing this. I would consider it a sign of weakness, or just, that's a whole other conversation, but it is empowering to be able to do this and feel heard. So thank you. I just want to thank you guys for listening, and I hope that you all can take whatever I shared, and maybe it touches plants a seed, or touches some kind of similarity that you felt that you can relate to reflect on in your own life, that have experienced the tools. But ultimately, I just want to say thank you and love you all.
There's a big truck going by, so we're going to lose sound pretty soon. Oh, look, it's Tina Ling.
Hey.
Oh, nice.
What's up, Mommy Storm?
With her, have you seen she posts about her beautiful grandbaby. Have you seen?
I've seen a couple over the course of the weeks and stuff, so yeah.
Cheryl said she finds it helpful when you contribute. You definitely shared some good info, Nicole said.
Well, I appreciate that very, very much, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me.
Muscle.
Thank you for having me. Muscle.
All right. Well, everybody, any other thoughts you have, don't be afraid to share. You could private message me if you need to. Send your thoughts and share with people who you think this could be helpful for, okay? Everybody, I love you. Thanks for joining Luncheon Live 11:45 today. They're putting new mulch down today.
So Mommy Storm, aka Tina, she can watch this later on since she just came later.
It stays on Instagram for 24 hours.
Okay, cool.
And I usually upload them to YouTube also.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We'll drop a comment.
Okay. Yeah, drop a comment. And if you watch from YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. Help us build that page to bring awareness to just being human. We're all doing this together. We don't need labels. We're just being human together and learning together. So it was good to see you both. You too, Nicole. Thank you. Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks, everybody, for joining, for watching. Lunch Live 11:45. See you next time on Tuesday. Bye, everyone.